Welcome to this lesson about movement. Okay, as I've been saying before throughout this whole thing, movement is the mechanism through which we produce our techniques. Okay, the techniques are all modeled after bodily movement. If you don't move, they don't work. The more you move, the more they can work. Okay, now so this is important section here because I'm going to reveal to you the things that I have put together. From the trainer, the strength and conditioning perspective, and the mixed martial arts perspective. Because the two different things I've been working through, I used to be a trainer and I used to be a strength and conditioning, studying health and fitness, and then I got into martial arts, and like they were two different things to me at the time. But then when I realized that the way that the body was designed to move most powerfully, the things that I studied in biomechanics in college, like the way that a person swings a tennis racket or throws a baseball, is the same as in mixed martial arts. Those movements are pretty much the same at the core, because the core is the power center for powerful movement. Okay, so when we're trying to move a ball, we're trying to move that as fast as possible, throw it as hard or as far as we can. Same thing with our punch. Okay, we want to maximize our power output by moving efficiently, moving with power, and being able to concentrate our energy, focus our energy into a short amount of time and space. Okay, so when you realize how the body is meant to move and you're able to see it from a kinesiology or a biomechanic perspective, then it's kind of like a Rosetta Stone for all other mixed martial arts. Okay, so when I talk to a kickboxing guy, I can apply the same lessons I learned or the same principles used in jiu-jitsu to the kickboxing lesson. All right, or I can talk about how striking applies to submissions and grappling. Okay, they both use the human body to produce force and movement. Okay, so the human body is the same tool with everybody, essentially. There's differences in height and weight, but it moves most powerfully in the same way, okay? And the way that this body is moved in martial arts is the most healthy way that it's supposed to be moved, because these are natural movements, all right? Imagine how you move when you walk, okay? That activates your brain in a certain way. It activates the hemispheres with balance, with the perfect amount of activation with each side. Okay, it lights up your brain the way that you move when you run. Okay, the reason is that your body and your hands, everything is meant to move together and move in a certain pattern. Okay, and when you do that, that's how you create more energy flow throughout your body, more circulation, more energy. All right, that's how you move energy through your body, and that's how you move your body most energetically. All right, and so when I talk about this all the time, but this happens when you throw your punches here, happens when you throw a baseball here, happens when you run. Okay, you run and you twist your core, your hands and your feet, and everything flip, everything moves together. All right, so we're going to talk about those principles right now. Right, first one, I think most important that I recognized immediately off the bat within boxing, and with also later down the road in jiu-jitsu and takedowns, is rotation. Okay, everything that we do in this program is going to involve core rotation. I even said it slow. Core rotation. All right, that's what we're working on at the heart of everything here. All right, and when that happens, we have an exiting a male and then a retracting female. Right, when we have balance, we have rotation. When we have balance, that's when things go in orbit around the earth. Okay, so in that we recognize that rotation. When we run, we throw a ball, we kick. When we swing a racket or a bat, when we swim and crawl, we do this rotation pattern. All right, and it lights up our brain better than any other activity. All right. Now, second rule of movement is integration. So when I talk about integration, I'm talking about whole body movements. Everything moves together. right? If something isn't moving, then it's not necessarily contributing to the movement, okay? Some things need to stay still to stabilize, but for the most part, everything needs to be integrated within the movement, okay? When you strike somebody and you hit here, you're only as powerful as the sum of your moving parts, okay? You're only as strong as the sum of your moving parts, okay? So if you're throwing your punch and your hip doesn't move, okay, your legs don't move, then the energy from the movement in your legs and the energy from the movement in your hips is not applied through your punch, okay? But when my hips meet the end point right before my shoulder meets the end point, and my elbow and my hand meet the end point, and it all comes together at the same time, and it's integrated, and everything is synced, pow, reaching their end point at the same time, that's when you maximize your impact, okay? And so that's how a smaller person can overcome a bigger person. If the bigger person is just trying to use their arms, or they're just not moving efficiently, and the other person is integrating their body in a well-timed movement, they can definitely overpower somebody else, okay? And then the third thing is continuation, okay? We want continuous movement. In a fight, when you stop moving, that's when you're in trouble, okay? Your opponent's going to take advantage. He's going to get behind you. He's going to strike you. You have to keep moving within the fight, and that's why this program is all about moving and being able to move better, because you have to keep moving. All right. So and also it's more efficient when you keep moving. Okay. Think about stop and go driving. Every time you hit the brakes and every time you re-accelerate your car or your body, you spend energy. And when you spend that energy, you can't get it back. And in a fight, if you spend too much energy and you get off balance and you are out of breath, then you're in big trouble. Okay. Also, stop and go movements are not as good on your body, right? Smooth, continuous movements. That is how you treat your body best. If you're driving your car and you're moving very smoothly instead of jerking around and hitting the brakes and changing direction very abruptly, it's not as good for your body. Okay, so in this workout, we always want to be smooth. We don't want to crash into anything and hit something so hard that it stops us from moving, okay, or gets us off balance. We want to be able to continue moving, and that shows that we are on balance if we can continue moving, okay? So again, we're trying to rotate, we're trying to integrate our movements, total body together in a continuous fashion, right? And that's so that we can create the most powerful, efficient, and well-focused movement in order so that we can get behind the opponent. We can get on top of them, okay? And we can get ourselves around the opponent. And in doing so, that'll enable us to execute striking techniques and takedowns and submission techniques. All right, so you can see where we start, where energy is an important concept to think about. The way that it's put into motion and the way that we release our energy determines how our techniques are executed, determines how well we fight, and then ultimately determines how the energy flows through our bodies and minds, determining how we ourselves essentially create our own outcome and our own selves. Okay, so again, remember throughout all the courses, even when you do regular exercises, guys. For example, you'll never see me do a double push, like a push-up. Okay, this isn't something we do because there's no rotation, right? You'll never see me pause in any of my movements. Sometimes when we stretch, we'll hold, and that's so that we can create enough length in the muscle. But for the most part, we're going to be moving the whole time. Okay, and you're not going to see me isolate one part of your body and work on just the arms or just the biceps or any kind of isolation parts. We're going to be moving and integrating everything. And so then when you go forward in your techniques, you can self-evaluate yourself. You can say, here's my punching technique. One, am I balanced? Am I protected? Right? Am I rotating? Can I rotate more? Is everything moving together? Can I move more things? And then also, am I stopping and pausing? And looking into into those three types of things, you're able to self-correct, okay? And then when I look at your footage of your exercises and your movements and your techniques, I'm going to be telling you, okay, you need to rotate more, you need to move your legs and those sort of things, okay? So moving forward, remembering these things as you approach every one of the movements that you see in the gym or on the mat, okay? I want to thank you guys again for listening. I know I get long-winded, and this might not seem important to you, but in your martial arts journey, if you're going to continue on your martial arts journey, this is a super solid foundation upon which to build your experience on, and to build your skills on. And starting with this and concentrating on this and centralizing everything around this type of movement is going to do you loads in terms of your health and your ability to serve your cause and your purpose. All right? And again, I want to thank you guys. I appreciate your attention, and I will see you in the next lesson.